Hi, my name is Vandoran. Welcome to my showcase of my datapack Shop in Currency. Once you've downloaded the datapack and unzipped the file and dropped it into .minecraft/saves/your world and then datapacks, go into your world like this, and first thing you want to do is do /reload. When it's reloaded and you see Shop and Currency loaded successfully, you know that you've done it right. Secondly, you want to do /functions config admin settings. This is the settings for the datapack. In here you'll find everything that you need to set up your datapack, and in the shop and bank signs you will find buy, sell, deposit, withdraw, loan and credit. In buy you will find various signs, and sell, deposit, withdraw, loan and credit you'll find the same things. These are basically just different signs, all the different signs actually in their wood form. So once you've done this, you just choose the sign that suits you the most or the best. Get it in your inventory like this. You need to right click this, by the way. There you go. Now that I have my signs in my inventory, you just need to place them down like this and you're good to go. Let me show you how these signs work. I've not made this map, by the way. I downloaded this map a while ago. I can't remember where, so I don't take credit for this map at all. In here I made a shop, as you can see, with the shop floating text. You can also find the floating text in the settings panel on the floating texts like this. In here I've made a buy side and a sell side. So if I go to the buy side, you will see that the sign looks like this. It's not looking like much right now because it's just placed down and it's not functional or anything like that. So let's see how to make it functional. You take an item of your choosing, whether it be in-game items or an item from a mod or a custom item or any item that you want this sign to sell. It works for everything. So once you have the item that you want to sell, you just hold it in your hand like this and then right click the sign. Once you've done that, you get up this niche looking panel. Quantity is how many of that item you want that sign to sell. So I'm gonna set this to 1 like this, and max use. Okay, this is a new feature. When you get max use up like this and you see that weird looking symbol there, it means that it sells infinite of that item without being any restrictions. If I set this to 10 for example, then the max use will be 10. As you can see on the sign there, it says quantity 1 and in brackets here 10. And the reset time is in minutes, so if I set this to 1 minute like this, there you go. And then the price, obviously, 100 currency for this item. Okay. And there you go. Now the sign is made and it's functional, it's working. As you can see here, when you hover over it, it says diamond sword with the sword actually there, so you can know what this sign is buying if for some reason you don't get what it's buying by the text that is on the sign. And that text that you can see over the diamond sword changes depending on the name of the item that you're selling. If you give it a custom name, or if it's a mod and it has a custom name, then that name will pop up over that sword. The name on the sign will never change, it will only display the ID name of this item. So let's see how this sign works. This 10 in brackets here only displays if you choose how many max items you can sell at any time. So if I purchase one now, it should go down to 9 like that, and then 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then on the last one you will get a timer. That's the 1 minute I was talking about. That's the timer of the item. You can set this to how long you want, or if you make it infinite, then you don't get a timer. It's just gonna sell the same item over and over again till you destroy the sign. So you could choose this to be 1 hour or days, even if you want 2 months. You just have to choose the time and the timer for the max item. So once this goes down to 0, then it's gonna say 10 here again. It's gonna be able to sell 10 of that max item that you chose it to sell. Let's get back to that in a little bit. So if I clear my inventory now, and then for example I sell birch planks to this sign here. This is a sell sign, meaning you can sell to it. If I set the quantity to be 64, for example, which is the max stack, and then the max use, I change this to be like infinite, so I don't do the same here. Infinite meaning now it's gonna sell 64. You don't get a number on the side here, meaning it's gonna sell. You're gonna be able to sell infinite to this sign without any restrictions. It's gonna be 25 in the price, and there you go. Now you can't sell to this sign unless you actually have the requirements for it. So since it says 64 there, you're only gonna be able to sell 64 at a time, which is what I chose. So if I give me a stack of 64 and sell it, then I should get the money, and the 64 stacks will be sold. Now if I go back to this sign, you see it says 10 again, which means I will be able to buy a new 10 swords from this sign. You cannot purchase this right now because it's on the timer again. Awesome. So that is basically the purpose of this whole sell and buy signs. You could put whatever item in it, how many items you want. I don't recommend selling over a 64 at a time, because you don't have enough inventory space for the first part, and there is a bug where if you have a full inventory, let me show you here. I don't know how to fix this, so if any of you guys know how to fix this, please give me a shout out. Now if I have a full inventory right now, then for example if I set this here to sell stone, why not? I sell it to sell stone, and then I set the quantity to be 100, for example. Max use, don't care. It's just an example. Meaning now you only have one inventory space, because it looks in your inventory, you don't have more space. It's not gonna auto stack this. This is just for showcase. If I buy this now, I should get 1 stack of this, and the rest, 37 I think it is, 36, will not get in your inventory because you didn't have space for it, and I don't know how to fix that. But you cannot buy anything if your inventory is actually full, so it's not a major bug, but it's still an annoying bug. Alright, so that's basically the whole shopping currency thing. Also, as you noticed, if I buy anything here, the carpet will be gone, because I'm using hidden chests that spawn on you when you use the buy sign, as well as the sell sign, but it's a little bit more buggy with the buy sign. So if you're using carpets, I'm sorry, your carpet will be gone where you're standing when you click the sign. Alright, now let's get over to the bank and whatnot. I've made it so when you die, you lose 10% of the money that you have on you. So if you have a lot of money and you die, you will lose 10% of that. In addition, you will lose 5%. The 10% can be picked up again. So if I say that I die here, it said here in the chat, you lost 5%. It doesn't say anything else because that's what you lost forever. You will not get it back. 5% is gone. But as you can see here, there's a chest. That's the 10% I'm talking about. This chest is here for the duration, the same duration actually as your items will be if you have items on you and you die. If you don't pick it back up within that time frame, then the items will be gone, and the same will this chest. This chest can be picked up by anyone. It's functioning exactly the same as your items. Your items can be picked up by a player, same as this chest. So if you're on a PvP server, then you're basically fucked. But I made a banking system. I've made it either with commands or with signs. So the signs work really easily. There's a few commands that you can use outside of the bank, like for example /trigger deposit. This here you could use either at or around the bank floating text like this, or within 5 blocks of your bed, if you've slept in your bed. Or you could do /trigger withdraw. So this one is also either close to your bed or close to your bank floating text. How these work is basically deposit. You can deposit whatever money that you have into your bank. You could either click this and it will deposit everything you have, or you could just choose an amount, like 100. And it said there, deposit 100 to the bank. If you want to know how much you have in the bank, you can do /trigger bank. This command can be used anywhere at any time, and it will tell you how much you have in your bank. Right now I have 700 in my bank. If you don't want to use the action bar, like just display your money there over your actual action bar, you can do /trigger action bar, and it will be gone. As you can see there, it disappeared. And you can do a /trigger action bar again, and it will be there. Alright, so withdraw is basically the same. You do withdraw and then you take out money in your bank. Close to this, you could either use those commands, or you could use /trigger loan. Loan is self-explanatory. You loan money, but you could never use or loan more than 1,000 at any time. Also, you need to have earned up to 1,000 to be able to loan 1,000. But there's a catch with the loan. If I were to loan 1,000 here, it will say you have taken a loan of 1,000, and I have 2,036 now. But it's a minus 1,000 in brackets there over the action bar. That is because I've taken a loan of 1,000. The loan is you get credit every 30 minutes. There's a fee. So every 30 minutes you will have a 5% fee that goes up until it reaches 3 hours, I think it is. After 3 hours it's gonna go up by 10% for another 3 hours, and I think after 6 hours altogether in the game you'll get blacklisted from the auction house unless you've paid your debt. So you will not be able to use auction house, you will not be able to use buy, and you will not be able to use sell. So to clear this money you just have to be close to the bank floating text and do trigger credit, and then you could just clear it all or clear a little bit of it, and so it doesn't go up that much, and then you just do it like this. So you have paid 400 and you have now 600 in debt. Optionally, you could go into the bank if the owner has set up a banking system, and you can just click the signs, and so you don't have to type the trigger commands. It's just some extra feature just for aesthetics mostly, and they work exactly the same as the trigger command. Once you click it, you get this panel up and you do the same. So if I wanted to withdraw here, I just do maximum everything I have in my bank, or I could just choose an amount, and I withdrew 300 from the bank. Now let's talk about auctioning, because that's a feature that took a long time to make. It was really hard to make actually. I've set up a nice looking auction house down here. You could do the same, or you could make it simpler. You can make it probably a hell of a lot nicer. So this is my auction house. This is the auction. This is everything in here is not needed. It's just for aesthetics. If I'm close to this, and it says down there, you have entered you have entered the auction, that means you're within the range to be able to do auction stuff. So if I want to do an auction and there are several people that want to sell or buy whatever it is that you're having, let's say this is Excalibur for some weird reason, and I want to auction this item. Auction. We'll get a message up here saying auction item, right click. Just hold the item do you want to auction and right click this text. It will get up this nice panel here, and let's say I wanna do the auction. This is a very rare item, so I wanna sell it for a minimum bid of 3,000. The item goes under auction here, and on top of the screen there you'll see auction and a timer. Timer is set to be 1 minute, because why should the auction be any longer? And the minimum price is 3,000. So within that timer, people can do /trigger bid and bid on the auction. I think it's actually tracks /trigger bid set and then whatever amount that you want to do. So everything over 3,000, 3,001 should be good, but I can't bid on my own auction, so I can't really show you guys. I don't have anyone here to help me get through it. So when the 15 seconds have gone, whoever bid over the 3,000 will get the item. The highest bidder of course wins, and the rest will get their money back if they didn't get the bid. If they did not bid anything on the item, you will get the item back into your inventory like this. It says down there the auction has ended. No one bid on the item, so it doesn't say anything else, but if someone bid, then it will say that person won or whatever and what the price was. There's also a nice feature that is /trigger sell. Can be used anywhere, it doesn't have to be near anywhere. And functions the same as the auction kinda, except you put the item in like this and you sell it for, let's say, 400. It will say here 400 for 1 golden sword. This would be a custom item if the item was custom, of course, but it's displaying here. And whoever is in this area could do /trigger buy, and they will purchase the item. I have not set a restriction for who can buy it, so apparently I can buy my own item. But there you see how it works. You bought golden sword from Fandoran for 400. Fandoran had bought golden sword for 400. So this would change, of course, depending on who purchased it. There's also a trigger travel. This one here is optional. There's a setting in the up settings. I will show you after I'm done here to turn this off and on if you want this or not. But if you click on any of these, it will teleport you to the responding area. So if you have put out the shop floating text up there like I have, then this will teleport you there. If you haven't put it out, then it will not teleport you anywhere. Say for example that the shop is not set. The same is for spawn. Spawn is way over there. I've put it down. If that is not put out, then you will not get anywhere. And with home, if you have not set your own home, you're not gonna get teleported anywhere. So let's test this out and see how it works. If I teleport the shop here, see, you have entered the shop, it teleported you to the shop. It worked nicely, and you will get a timer each time you use them, so you will not be able to teleport everywhere at any time. I've set it to 1 hour. Maybe at a later time I will fix it so you can choose what time they will have themselves individually. The home or spawn, you teleport to spawn. You see here, works nicely. Everyone can use them, so it's not a timer, it's not a global timer, it's a timer for each individual person using this. And a home will teleport you to your bed. If you have slept anywhere, it's going to teleport you. This is my nice looking home. It's almost completely built. And if I go back into the treble now for our last time, you see I've spent them all up. I cannot use them anymore. I've not put a text that says you can't use them, but this timer here should tell you. If you are smart enough, you will understand you cannot use them until a timer is up. Also, I've made a system where it's kind of an old system actually. You get money from killing mobs and mining ores, chopping wood, farming food, and fishing, but it's also an optional feature. It's turned off by default, but if you go into the settings here, you will see here, it's a little dark to see, but you will see in the settings you have multiple options. Actually, let me tell you about the other options first. Sidebar is just a list of whoever is online and how much money they have. You can turn this on and off. I think it's on by default, but you can just turn it off. List is also the same thing, except you have to press tab. It will tell you whoever is online and how much money they have. Action bar, I think it just disables the command to be able to use trigger action bar to turn it on and off. I can't remember. Teleports here, you can turn it off. If you try to do /trigger travel, then it's gonna tell you that teleportation is disabled on this server. Currency drops is on, but it's because I've turned it on, but it's off by default. If it's off, you'll not be able to get any money from killing anything or farming wood or whatnot. If it's turned on, you will get the money, and then it's uninstall. Don't touch this unless you plan to not use this anymore. In other, you will have gold coin and silver coin. These are just items that has a custom ID. They don't really do anything unless you plan to have a currency system, so you can make a sign, put it on the sign, and just decide yourself how much they're worth. List player balance, it will list every online player's balance down here. You see Fendoran, and this is my balance. This is the same as you can see here, and this is how much I have in my bank. So you could keep an eye out for people's money. If you're an up player, no one else can use this. It's just so you can have a visual of what people have, basically. And yeah, this is the floating text. So you find everything here. It's really easy. It's basically the command book, just I think it's better. Let me see if I can spawn a zombie to show you guys, and then give me some diamond blocks here. Sword and a diamond pickaxe. Can I place it down? Yes, I can. So if I kill this, of course it had to have full armor, it dropped an additional item. This doesn't affect the loot table in any way, it just gives an extra item to the loot table that they will drop. Most enemies will drop guaranteed, some might not, depending on what mob it is. But you see, don't automatically get the money anymore. They drop like normal loot and you have to pick it up. Once you picked it up, it says you looted $7. The same is for mining, kind of, except you don't get it every time you mine, because there is an exploit kind of to it. I cannot fix it in any other way than what I've done. It's basically you don't get money for each block you're mining, because you could use silk touch and place it down continuously and basically exploit the system. So I've made a system where there's a 1 in a 10 chance that you will get money, and the money is the money varies depending on the rarity of the item. Also, there is a 1 in 100 chance that you will get a rare money drop, which is a gold nugget. It's only for blocks and farming. For mobs, it's a 1 in 10 chance to get a rare drop for the gold coin. But in blocks, it's 1 in 10 to get a silver coin and 1 in 100 to get a gold coin. So if I try to mine this, you see here I don't really get any money that easily, because there's a 1 in a 10 chance for money to actually drop. Right now it looks like I'm rather unlucky, but let's see if I can actually get a money to drop out of this. Would be a shame if I didn't. Alright, there you go. You see there, your iron nugget dropped. You will have to mine a lot to be able to get the gold nuggets, since it's so rare. But this is the same for all types of wood, and it's the same for all ores, all types of farming that gives you food or even fishing. So right now, as you can see, if I kill him again, just to show you, I get a silver nugget. If I go back into the admin settings here and then take it off and try to spawn it again, set myself to creative. Get the egg. Like so. I don't get anything. So this is basically the whole data pack. There is one last thing I think, if I haven't showed it already, is trigger pay. Kind of the same as everything else. You get a system, it says pay, and whoever is closest to you, I think it's within 10 blocks, you can pay that person automatically just by doing like this. But since there's no player around, it says no player found nearby. But if you have a player that is close to you, we'll be able to pay him. It doesn't work if you're alone on a server with some other guy and you're thousands of blocks away from each other. They have to be close, otherwise you can't pay them. If you can't remember all of these commands, there is a trigger commands here that will tell you every single command in the game. It's really easy, it's nothing much to worry about, and yeah, I think that's basically it. I will have a lot of stuff fixed. There is some things that I want to do in the settings panel and some other things I'm gonna get working on. I don't think I have any new features planned anytime soon, but I hope you enjoy this. Let me know if there's anything I've missed or if you find any bugs or anything. And thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day, guys.